So, remember when I said I was going to do a Q&A video back in October? Yeah, things got a little busy. But that's okay. Here we are now. Let's do this. Also, I decided to split these up into topic order. So we're going to start with fandom stuff, followed by dance stuff, followed by media stuff, then physics stuff, and then miscellaneous questions. Let's get to it. Did you enjoy FurPoc? Yes. Yes, I did. FurPoc was a lot of fun, especially the fact that it was my first time being a con host. Now, that doesn't mean I was the convention chair. No. I'm just the face that represents the con, and I had a lot of fun. Definitely check out the report videos I've made about FurPoc. How long have you been a furry for? Since 2007. Yep. I've been a furry for a while. Did you take a break from the fandom several years back? Yes. Yes, I did. From 2016 to 2020, I decided to kind of chill out with a bunch of the fandom stuff, mostly because school was a thing. Yeah. What are some of the biggest changes in the furry fandom over the years? There are so many more cons now. What's something you miss about the fandom in the mid-2010s? Constant Dancerfurs at AC. It doesn't happen quite as often now. What's something new you like about the fandom? Well, better representation of the trans community, diverse gender expression, a distinction between asexual and aromantic. The fandom is a strong queer community. It always has been. Where did you get your name from? Linear algebra. How did you decide on a husky for your character? I don't know, I just kind of have dog energy and I like snow. Do you think your species would change over time? Well, here's the thing about TF. You can have every species you want. Doesn't have to be just one with transformation. TF Tuesday comes once a week. Why are you so cute? Cloud Husky and Mini Boss mascots. What were your inspirations for your Sona? Well, after I picked Husky, I just kind of picked red and gray for no particular reason. The purple thing actually comes from Skaifox. He ended up being the first person to draw my character, and just happened to give me a purple nose, and I just decided to run with it. And now it's my favorite color. Is it hard to get into VR chat and make an avatar? Well, not really. If you have the financial means to, it's pretty easy to find someone to commission for an avatar, just like I am with Cloud Husky. It's just a matter of finding an artist that you like. Big tail or big ears? Well, I feel like I'm gonna summon donuts for this one. Big tail. Very, very big tails. Cats or dogs? Alright, Keto. I see you being a little cheeky here. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I don't know, Core. Why don't you find out? Let's turn you into a woodchuck and see. Did you ever have any bad experiences attending a con or being in the fandom? Well, if you've seen my recent video, you know the answer is yes. Unfortunately, bad experiences do happen. That's just life. It just happens. What's your most memorable con moment? Well, my first time winning a dance competition, because that was something completely unexpected. Who inspired you to join the furry fandom? No one in particular. When I learned about what furries are, I was just like, that's pretty cool. I want to do it too. What conventions do you want to attend that you haven't been to? Well, pretty much all the cons that exist outside the US, because, I haven't traveled outside North America, like, ever. I need to travel more. What's your favorite convention? Anthrocon. By far, it's Anthrocon. The cool city, good food places, nice venue, always something to do, cool programming, dance comp's awesome, Floor Wars is awesome. I can always reliably get that time off because it's on 4th of July weekend, so Anthrocon is my favorite. What East Coast cons would you recommend for West Coast furs? Anthrocon, FWA, and Vacation Land. I would recommend FurPoc, but wait until we get to a spot that's a little bit closer to an airport. Are you going to MCFC 2025? Probably not. The only reason why I went this year was because of the eclipse. What are your top do's and don'ts of conventions? That's a topic for its own video. Do you think there's a difference between furry conventions in the US and other countries? Yes and no. Like, I can't really speak on this because, again, I haven't really been outside the US, but I would imagine that, yes, conventions will be the same in the fact that, hey, we're all animal people, but of course there's gonna be those cultural differences depending on the country, right? What's your advice to someone who doesn't have any friends in the community but would like to go to a con? Well, I'll definitely recommend Finn the Panther's video about going to a con by yourself. But my TLDR is just check out the schedule, see what interests you, go to the events that interest you, and you'll run into people eventually. Friendships just kind of naturally happen organically. Can I walk you leashed as a good boy at a fur con? No. No. This is not an appropriate thing to say to someone you don't know personally. Like, I have a partner. I go by they, them pronouns. You don't know me. You don't know me like that. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to make a point here. You don't know me like that. Favorite con that you have danced at? FWA. Specifically because they have rehearsals before the dance comp, and it's one of the few cons that actually do that. What's your favorite dance routine? Well, hands down, it's FWA 2024. By far my favorite routine I've done. How do dance comps usually work? Well, you pick a song, you make a routine, you audition, and if you qualify, you perform it in finals. It's as simple as that. What makes you want to teach others about dance stuff? Well, it's because I care about the health of the community. The Dancerfurs are probably one of the most visible aspects to the fandom, which means that we can attract some of the wrong attention here and there. I've seen a fair share of events that are either run by people who don't have the skills to be coordinators, or run by people who don't have the right intentions. For example, people who run events for their own personal glory, rather than for the community like it should be. I'll definitely make a video about this later. Do you think a pro and amateur division could happen for dance comps? Well, we kind of already had that in the 2010s, and it doesn't work. Basically, it comes down to the question of what is a veteran and what is a novice, and let's just kind of leave it at that. Is there anything that you've experienced within the Dancerfur scene that have changed significantly? Well, I would say battle events. They're definitely a lot more common now than before. What are some styles of dance that you feel are underrepresented in the fandom? Well, there's definitely a lot of dance styles out there, and there's definitely a lot of them that have not made an appearance in a dance comp yet, or in a battle event. So, I don't know. What made you become a dancer? I don't know. I just decided to move my legs a little bit. What got you into dancing? Okay, real answer here. My mom's a music teacher, and I kind of just grew up in music. I knew I was a dancer in like 4th grade PE class. We had to learn a choreo routine, and they put me in the front because I learned so fast. That's just kind of how I knew. Who are your fursuiter dance inspirations? I don't have any. I was a dancer way before I joined the fandom, so like, I don't really have fursuiter inspirations. Sorry for the boring answer, but if we're just talking about dance inspirations, I would point to Bruce Almighty, because I just kind of like how he's just a goofball with his breaking. What's an area of dancing that's your weakness, and how do you overcome it? Good question. Next question. What are your thoughts on VR chat? Well, if it's not obvious, I kind of like it. I'm filming in it right now. What's your favorite VR chat world? The Ferality Luma public lobby. I definitely find myself coming back to this world like for stuff like meditating, you know? It's a very peaceful world. Favorite film? Tenet. Favorite anime? Avatar, Legend of Korra. I'm being spicy. Favorite video game? Minecraft. I've been playing this game for over 10 years. That's definitely saying something. Have you read any xenofiction or furry books? Don't be silly, dogs don't read. What kind of music you listen to? Pretty much anything I can dance to. Depends on my mood. Just no country. Favorite bands or artists? I don't really have a favorite. It depends on my mood and emotional state. But one thing I'm trying to do is listen to more musicians within the community. So here's a few I really like. Favorite instrument to play? Saxophone. How long have you been playing your instruments? Well, saxophone I've been playing since 3rd grade. I learned piano slightly before that, but haven't played it as much. Singing was shortly after I learned saxophone, and that was mostly for choir. Trumpet, trombone, I learned those mostly to teach physics of music. Oh yeah, and bass guitar was like sometime in middle school? I can't really remember. What are some instruments that you love to learn to play? Kalimba. Specifically to learn the Minecraft songs. It would be so funny to just whip it out and start playing, you know? It would be so funny. It would be so funny. It would be so funny. What's your video creation process? Well, depends on the video. Like with con vlogs, I just kind of film everything. Then when I edit, I go through one pass to kind of filter out all the good stuff. Then second pass to refine the edit to tell a story. Then there's a third and fourth pass adding details like VFX and text. Info videos are a little different. I do have a list of topics I'd love to cover. So like I kind of pick from the list, write a script, film in VR, then with editing, first pass is cutting out all the good takes. Second pass is just making sure the pacing is right. And then third pass is adding in those little details like diagrams and text. What's your job? I'm a computational physicist. What's the purpose of life? What should I expect going into grad school? What's your favorite math concept? Residue theorem. It's one of those things that you just don't expect. It takes a bit of time to kind of build up all those math concepts to get to where you need to go, but once you learn it, it's just mind-blowing. What section of mathematics is your favorite? Numerical analysis for PDEs. The amount of partial differential equations that we can solve just using analytical techniques is like minuscule. But with numerical analysis, it opens up so many doors. What's your favorite programming language? Python, because it's very easy to learn. How do you feel about assembly programming? Well, I never learned it myself, but it is cool in concept. Like, having machine code that's not binary that is somewhat readable. The only thing is that it is hardware specific. What do you like most about physics? Good question. Next question. What's your favorite theory? Quantum degeneracy. Because like, without it, things would not exist. The periodic table of elements, gone. Doesn't exist. We need degeneracy here. What's your favorite theory on how the universe might end? I don't know. How about the theory where it doesn't end? Don't want to think about how things would end? I don't want to think about it? I don't? What aspect of physics would you consider to be the most fun to work with? Having the ability to solve basically any problem you want. I mean, look at it. I used my degree to basically make an improved dance system for battle events. Who does that? Who does that? Solve this equation, ew. I don't deal with numbers. That shit's for computers. Also, the answer is 2. Why did you decide to go to grad school? Well, I was strongly encouraged by my undergrad professors to go to grad school. Here's the thing about getting a scientific degree. Name recognition is everything. When you are a straight A student that's very promising, your professors want you to go to grad school at other institutions to get their name out there. Don't get me wrong, I don't regret going to grad school. Some of my favorite classes are my grad classes, but that's just kind of how academia is. Have you learned any sort of physical chemistry? Kinda. I heard that PChem is basically a summary of quantum mechanics and statistical mechanics, so yeah, I'm sure there's some overlap there. Would you say grad school is worth it? Grad school is worth it when you know you need it, and you know what you want out of it. What are some big unsolved physics problems that you think would be solved this century? Quantum gravity would be nice, but I see more strides being made in ultra-fast AMO and emergent properties in CMP first. What is a time crystal? Okay, so a crystal is a material where there's translational symmetry, as in if you take all the atoms, shift them over, it would look exactly the same. A time crystal is a material with temporal symmetry. So if you rewind the clock a little bit, it would look exactly the same as now. I know I'm highly oversimplifying it, but that's the point. It's just a dumb explanation. Can you explain how the double-slit experiment works? Okay, so it's an experiment that can tell whether an object is a wave or a particle. If it's a wave, you would get a diffraction pattern. If it's a particle, you won't get a diffraction pattern. That's it. What's the most random skill that you have that surprises people? Well, this may sound wild, but in the physics world, people are surprised by my dance skills, and in the dance world, people are surprised that I'm a physicist. What would your ideal day look like? I wake up, I do some things, I go to bed. That's it. If you could go back in time, what would you want to relive again? I wouldn't. I would not go back in time. Because if I go back in time, I'm gonna want to change things, and if I change things, things will mess up. Let's just not. Let's not. What's in the past is in the past. What is your religious affiliation? Good question. And next question. How did I get here? Well, the YouTube algorithm knows more things about you than you do. And that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching, y'all, and I'll see ya in the next video.